It is way too late, and I should not be streaming right now, but 3 minutes from now, the new challenge will release. Still haven't fixed my CLI, so I'll be doing this one manually on the web. Doesn't stop us from trying to beat this one as fast as possible. Maybe I won't be talking quite as much. Maybe I won't have a great idea, and it's gonna take ages anyway. I will definitely explain what's going on after I'm done submitting. We will open our terminal here, prepare with the template. There we go. Oh, this is the wrong file. This is the one that we want to change. Okay, perfect. First thing I'm gonna do is probably to paste in the input right here. I guess what we could do is to go to this URL and then put in a 3. I think I'm gonna be able to just refresh once it's complete. I'm already gonna go into the folder here, execute main.py, and maybe do the pb paste thing into input without txt, so I can paste it in immediately. I mean, this is not going to be super fast. I don't have the CLI working, which is really a shame. Um, I'm thinking about writing my own script. Really, all I need is to download the input, maybe parse the HTML of the puzzle as Markdown, and then, of course, the submission. Not quite sure how tricky it will be to parse the submission, but I think the main curl stuff could be done in Bash. And then in Python, we should be able to parse HTML as Markdown. But that's just a little gimmick, it could just be plain text. So we got about 1 minute here. Let's see if the bitrate is working out. My Wi-Fi isn't quite as good at home, as you can see up here, but it seems to be fine. Good enough. Let's put in the URL of day 3. And here we have the input, and we have about 30 seconds to spare. Um, I guess the very first thing I'm going to do is to get the input here, so I can get the command out of the way. I don't know. I think over preparing is just going to get my nerves up, and then it's going to get worse. Um, anyway, so let's just go for a chill little puzzle here. And give it one more second. Here we go. Here's the input, there's my mine command, and here's the puzzle. Rucksacks, compartments, 6 rucksacks. The compartments are split by... Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. Find the item type that appears in both compartments of each rucksack, which is the sum of the priorities of those. Wow. This one is I don't even know what to say. I know how to solve it. It's not gonna be easy. I'm gonna define SMAP, which is gonna be a set, because we're gonna need sets. I can't imagine that we have done that before. Ah, shit, but it has to be. Oh my god. Okay, for line in T first equals T up to len of T divided by 2, and second is this. Actually turn this into a set and give me overlap equals first and second. Print. Let's see if this works. Nope. Doesn't have an index method. Oh, this is bad. Okay. Still doesn't work. Amazing. What am I doing wrong? Maybe the fact that we have to do an integer division in Python 6. Okay. Exactly one letter. That's amazing. Now give me this as a list, and then the first character. And now I have to do ORD. I have no fucking clue how ORD works, so let's check how this works. Okay. Lowercase a is priority 1. So we have the prior of character if oh fuck, of course it's opposite. If ORD greater 90, return O minus. Okay, it has to be 27, but it's actually 60. Okay. Minus 27 should be 38, but actually 37 probably. Nope, 38. Turn O minus 96. Let's test this real quick. I don't think I did this right. Prior of lowercase a equals 59. No, what are you talking about? Ah. Let's swap these 38 and 96. And let's try this again. Prior of lowercase a 1, uppercase a 27. I love it. Okay. And I guess we have a sum. We print the sum, and the sum plus equals priority of the overlap. And we have the first answer. 7553. Boom. Okay, part 2. Finish only type carried by all 3 elves. What the heck? Oh, interesting. So what we have to do now is to go through for I in range of len, and then every third, I guess. What happens here? Give me I. Yes, okay, so we got a set of T of I and and plus 2 Let's see what happens here. I guess I should store this as a overlap. Okay. Yes, only one letter. This is the sum of purchase of those item types. S plus equals of O print O. Great. Yes, I have to do list of O. 27582. Nice. Okay. Wow, 260. Man, people are fast on this. Whew. I still got just 6 stars, but I'm pretty happy. I'm reasonably happy with this. I mean, it took 7 minutes. You can't win them all. Okay, what do we do here? Obviously, overlap in two lists is most easily done with the set operator. If you have a set in Python, you can do a single character operation. You can either try to find the overlap, so we'll find items that are in both lists, or you can find the union, which will find, it's not overlap, it's called intersection with the and character. And the union would be items that are in either of the two lists, and that would you would do with the pipe character. Here we have to find the overlap, not the union, the intersection, and I didn't really read out loud what the challenge was, but first we had like a line, we can look at the input. We have like a line of like garbage characters, and then we find the middle of it, and we want to see what is both in the left and in the right side of the string. So we take the string, turn it into two different sets. We take the intersection of those sets, and then I'm actually not 100% sure if you have to turn it into a list to get the first character out of it. This is what I always do. Let's actually check this. What happens if I don't turn it into a list? Yeah, there you go. You cannot access the first item out of a set because the set is not ordered. In order to turn it into an ordered list, you have to use the list in constructor. So this was pretty simple. The only last piece of magic here is that you have to use 2 slashes in Python to do a downward rounded integer division, whereas 1 slash would only do the float division. This is a good practice. If you do 7 divided by 2, of course it's 3.5. It's not 3. It is a float division. You can't really do that cleanly. So if you want to do only the integer part of it, you have to do 2 slashes. And actually, even though 6 divided by 2 does divide evenly because Python wants to make sure that no precision gets lost, by default, it will actually cast two numbers always to a float division. I think this can lead to some funny stuff if you have like anyway, we don't have to get into it. All that's important is if you want to have an integer out of the division of two numbers, use 2 slash characters. And prior here is using the magical method ORD, which will give you for like ASCII characters the representation. I guess this even works with Unicode. I only know ORD from ASCII, but of course the first character will be, I think space is like 10 or something. No, 32, which is a 20 in hexadecimal, right? Yeah, so I'm off by 1. I had hex 10 in my head. Anyway, it's a fun little thing to play around with the number representation of a character. For example, the number 1 is not the number 1, but it's the number 49. And the dot would be a 46. And as we saw before, the lowercase not characters are actually after the uppercase characters. This is just like if you Google ASCII table, you can see what the characters look like. So if we were to choose, I don't know, the percentage sign, it should be a decimal 37 and a hexadecimal 25. Let's try. And also hexadecimal. Ooh, I forgot to call ort. Yeah, there it is, 37 and 25, just like it says in this table. So these things, nobody ever has to know them by heart anymore. It's like ancient history now, but it comes in handy when you want to turn a letter into a number. All we had to do here is to discern between the two different categories. Either it might be lower or uppercase. You could have done something different. You could have imported the ASCII lowercase letters and then done like return ASCII lowercase plus ASCII lowercase dot upper uh, dot index of, or find, what is it called? I think it's called find. Find C plus one. I think this would have done the same thing. Here you're making your own table of letters. We can actually see if this properly works as well. So here, if I'm correct, it should return one. Oh, because I'm importing it here. Yeah, okay. This returns 1, this should return 27. So this also works. This should be 26, this should be 30, 52. Yes, okay. So, I don't know, this is a bit cleaner, a bit shorter, and it's making use of one of my convenience imports up there. Let's leave it like this. I think this is pretty neat. Um, and yeah, the very last piece of magic here is this operation. This looks fancy, doesn't it? In Python, we already learned that a list of A, B, C, and D can be accessed for an element or for a range of different elements. This should return 3 characters from 0 to up to 3, but not including 3. But now there's one more piece of magic, which is the third option. So you can not just do one colon, but you can add another colon. What happens here? You increase the step width of your iteration through the list. So the default would be 1, which means you're stepping through the list with a width of 2. No, of 1. So sorry. So if you increase it to 2, you will always skip 1 character. So now we're going from A straight to C. Um, you could also set it to 3, but now if we want to go from 0 up to, but not including 3, with a step of 3, we only get 1 character. So here we'd have to increase this one more, and then we can go all the way from A straight to D. So why I was doing this is that I wanted to get the step width to always have like a group of 3 different lines, and then I was accessing them with I plus 1, and I plus 2. And I guess the only missing function we haven't talked about is called range. So with len, you always get the amount of elements in a list, and with range, you get all of the numbers up to the number you specify as the first parameter, but not including. So for example, if t has 5 elements and you call len, you get the number 5. Then you call range, and range will return a list of 0 up to 4. So it has 5 elements, starts with 0, so the last one will be 4. Let's check this real quick. So you have, thank you, Python. Again, just like with map, we have to call the list method to actually get our list. We have 5 elements, it's 0 to 4. And if you did this with the len of L, which is the list we defined before, it pretty much gives you an array that looks a lot like the one you put in, but it only gives you a list of numbers that increase by 1 every single time. So this way you can use it as an index to then go into your list. I'm actually going to redefine L and say now it's going to have 6 different elements to showcase the example from the puzzle. Because now what we can do is take this list and say for every index in this list, and if we just want to use it as an iterator, we don't have to actually parse it as a list. We will again do the same thing I did in the puzzle, increase the step width to 3 and say print L of I L of I plus 1 and L of I plus 2. And there we go. We have like a little group of 3 characters, and we can go through the list like this. Now, of course, hindsight is 2020, and I'm now able to see that this would have been a lot easier to do like this, because of course we can access this as a range. And this is a mistake, because of course I should say 3 and not 2. It's not including the last element there. And then we get it as a list. And here, what we can do, because these would have been sets here, would be to call this with a map of set. How do we union all of these? That's actually a good question. We would have to do something like sum. I guess we can reduce with x and y and return x and y. Now the only question is what do we start with? What is the set of all values? Well, I guess we can just do a set of lowercase and uppercase. I'm not sure if this is more beautiful. This is really bugging me. I'm just trying to get too fancy here. I mean, it's getting us the same value, but look, if we have this twice, what if we just turn this into chars? We say up here that, I mean, I guess we have the constants down here. Chars equals this. And it still doesn't fit in one line. Oh, it does. Okay. So my formatter is fine with this. Then I guess I'm fine with this. Actually, it's even shorter because this, of course, belongs down there. Which also means that the upper from here shouldn't be there, and it also shouldn't be in parentheses. So let's see if this code still works. It does. Okay. So what do we just do? We call reduce. Reduce is a method that works similar to map, going through a list and executing a function for every single element, except this time it's using always 2 elements at the same time. And it's executing whatever the result was before, and it's adding, for example, the last one in it. What's really beautiful about this is now that we have the step width as a parameter here, we might also be able to go through with a for. And we just have to change the parameter at these 2 places. So this is a bit more beautiful code. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. I will go to bed because it's 12:20 now. And I am looking forward to the puzzle of tomorrow.